Hello everyone, I wanted to do a quick walkthrough of my London 2017 Traveler's Notebook. And a couple of things before I start, for anybody who hasn't done one yet, this is how they normally start. So you can see, pretty thin. This is how they end up, at least if you're using somewhat 3D elements, which I have to. I mean, it's a given that I'm going to use bling and fun stuff. So just wanted to kind of give the before and after. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is a standard size, which means that it's about 4¼ inches by 8¼ inches. That also means that when you have it open on a layout, it's almost a perfect square because it's 8½ by 8¼ So it's almost like doing the same design scheme as a 12 by 12 page, just smaller. So it's more like an 8 by 8 album in that respect. So kind of keep that in mind maybe if you're thinking about starting one of these. So as I said, this is my London 2017. So I'm just going to go quickly through. Oh, I should probably mention this is done by Gossamer Blue. I got it as part of a kit that I bought. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a whirl. So there's my opening page. Not much to it, just some cardstock. This is, I think it's from In a Creative Bubble. I bought it as a digital file. They're all 3x4 cards that are generally used for Project Life, I think. But I use them all over the place in here, so you'll see more. And then just this little die cut, and I have no idea where that's from. I don't remember. The other thing I should note is that for paper, I like the Traveler's Notebook in this size because, as you know, a big piece of scrapbooking paper is 12 by 12. So if you're cutting vertically at 4 inches to fit this, that means you're getting 3 full strips out of 1 sheet of paper. So it's very economical. So here's another card that I printed. This is more of a journal card, but this was a background card. You can see our plane out the window there. I like to use boarding passes a lot in my scrapbooking, so it's definitely part of this book, both this one and for coming back. Again, just another 3x4 card that I happen to have on hand that was travel themed already. It's a picture of my daughter and I. And just talking a little bit about our experience on the plane. Our first stop was actually Reykjavik. That's where we had a layover. So this is when we had about an hour and a half. So this was when we were exploring our little corner of the airport. There wasn't much to see or do in our terminal because we were just on a layover and they kind of separate those flights from the main terminal. So we just looked at some fun Icelandic snacks. And here we are taking off from Reykjavik, going to London. This was my daughter's first trip over the Atlantic, so lots of plane pictures here. So now we're just waiting at the border, which took forever. I know it's necessary, but it's so boring. And then since she had never ridden the tube before, I had been to London before, so I'd had that experience. But since she had never ridden the tube before, we did take it from Heathrow into the city and then back when we left London. So there's St. Pancras, which is right across the street from King's Cross. That's the outside of King's Cross here. And then I love the beautiful ceiling in there. I took way, way too many pictures of just the ceiling. And then for you Harry Potter fans, oh, what a dream come true. Again, I had been to the store before, but my daughter had not. She's also an uber Harry Potter fan. So we had to stop there. We had to do some shopping, of course. And then we had our pictures taken at platform 9 3/4, of course, when in London. I'm a Gryffindor and she's a Ravenclaw, so we had to represent both. And we just got a little snack after, and there's actually journaling on the back of this card as well. More cards that I had pre-made. This is actually, I think, from Creative Memories. I think it is. I can't remember the name of the line, but a 4x6 card, and it worked perfectly for what I needed. And then here I just made a little pocket. And I put in the wrap that went around my coffee and a little card from it. One thing I will say is if you've never done a traveler's notebook, you have to kind of accept that a lot of the paper, if you're using a really dark ink like black, and I used a lot of stays on in this album, it will show through on a lot of these pages, so I just had to be really clever about how to cover that up. So there's actually something under here from this page. So I just covered that up, and I think it works. So here we are taking our train to Edinburgh. And King's Cross on the inside is just so beautiful. So again, took way too many pictures of the ceiling on the platform as well. This was a fluke, so now that, going back to this was all our first day. Then we went to Edinburgh for a couple of days and Glasgow. Then we came back, and so when we were back in London, we were on our way to something else, and we had to pass through Trafalgar Square, and who should be there but Pikachu? And we're Pokemon fans as well, so how can you not get your photo with Pikachu? Again, we're on our way to something else, and we just happened to pass through Chinatown. And when I was in London before, I wasn't really anywhere close to this, so it was really fun to just kind of walk through a few blocks and see how they have everything decorated and set up. It was quite nice. So then again, because we're Harry Potter fans, this is Mina Lima. This is a store that is owned by the design team that has done all of the graphic artwork in both the Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts movies. So you can buy all of their prints and books and anything that has to do with their artwork or sort of flat props, and you'll see some throughout here. So this was just a little cabinet that was done up with different things in it that they had designed. A howler, I love the howlers, and then here's one that's actually made, so I had to put those in there. And then the letters that come out the chimney, they had them tied to the ceiling all over one room. It was pretty cool. And the Marauders map is one of my favorite things ever from the series, and this is the floor. So the entire floor of this room was done as the Marauders map, and I asked them, like, is there a way to have that installed in my house at home? Could I actually get that? The answer would be no. But, you know, it would be a dream if I could. So here's some more stuff, the Quibbler, some more of the books that are used in Harry Potter. This was actually a photo that I took. They have a stained glass artwork piece that has the logo for Hogwarts, and so I just cut it out from my photo and put it on here. Then we moved on. This is they didn't have as much for Fantastic Beasts, obviously, because there's only been one movie so far, but they had a couple of cool things, so I wanted to put those in there as well. So after we left Mina Lima, we went to Buckingham Palace. Again, I had been there, but she had not. So of course I had to take all the requisite photos, and it's kind of hard to see here, but she looks oh so thrilled there. It was getting late in the day, and we were quite tired with the time difference and having explored a good chunk of the day already. So we won't look too closely at that. The Victoria Fountain, also, this is right across from Buckingham, and so I had to get the photo there too. Again, so thrilled. Big Ben, or excuse me, the Elizabeth Tower as it's called now. It will always be Big Ben to me. There's a better shot there. Houses of Parliament over here. This was just a ticket. I wanted to take the subway everywhere because I felt really comfortable having done it before, but my daughter really wanted to do the hop on, hop off just for the experience, so we did do the bus instead. Westminster Abbey. This was as close as we got. I have toured it before, luckily. If you read the journaling there, it says that we were unable to tour it. We had plans to, at least for her to go in, but our bus driver told us that because of the terror attacks that had just happened before we were there, that it was actually closed for 2 days. They were doing services for those that had passed away in the attack, and so it was not open for 2 days. So we were unable to go inside, and that is totally fine. They need to do what they need to do, and we were okay with that. Tower of London, did I skip one here? Yes, I did. Tower of London. Again, I had been there, she had not. We did not have time to go in, so we were just sort of strolling around the outside. It was really overcast and cloudy and getting yucky weather-wise when we were here, so the photos are not not spectacular. Here I'm lamenting that it's my second time to Tower Bridge. Could not get a decent photo either time. The clouds just did not cooperate. The sun did not want to come out, and so that was the best that I could do. So after that, we headed back to pick up our luggage. I actually miscalculated a page in here, so I needed a filler, and guess what? This was it. Luckily, I had saved the receipt from when we did our left luggage and then came back in and picked it up. And so I thought, well, I could do something with that. And so I had a picture here from what it looks like from the outside. This is in King's Cross. So I just used the receipt and then put the picture and explained why we were doing it, because we didn't want to haul our luggage with us all day. So it worked very nicely to fill in an oopsie that I made. So then here we are. This is the actual Oyster card, so it's quite thick. But I figured red line tape would work, and it did. It stuck there nicely. And then just a map of the tube that I had taken so that you can see King's Cross is about here, and our direct line went all the way like this, and then Heathrow is here. And then here's Heathrow. I told the story down here about how we were just running through the airport like mad because we had left King's Cross late. Of course, we wanted to see everything we could possibly see, so we left late. And so we're running through the train station and running through the airport thinking, oh my God, you know, what if we don't make our plane because we can't get through security? There was no need to worry, because at 8 o'clock, this is what Heathrow looks like, 8 o'clock in the evening. There was pretty much nobody there, and the agent who checked us in, I think, thought we were nuts because we were so panicked, and she clearly thought there was nothing to worry about. So just another boarding pass. It has all of our info. And then I didn't know what to do exactly with this last page, so what I decided to do was, this is actually stuck in the last page. So that's what it looks like there. You open this up, and it's the map from the Hop On Hop Off tour. And so you can see all of the major sites that we hit right there on that map. And then it just goes back in, or should, and folds up. It goes back, and then you close it. That's that. And I think the only way I'm going to be able to keep it closed is probably to tie ribbon or baker's twine or something on it, because I mean, obviously, hello, this is quite thick and is not going to close on its own. So I think that's my plan. If anybody has a better idea, though, let me know what you do when, you know, they're this full. I don't know how to keep that closed. So I hope you enjoyed the flip through, and if you have any questions on what I've done here, let me know.